Keeping human rights in check. Let's talk about human rights in the Americas. We've got a system in place, folks. It's like a watchdog, making sure countries are treating their people right. This system comes from the Inter-American Convention on Human Rights. Think of it as a big rule book for countries in North and South America. It tells them, hey, here's how you have to treat people. No, you can't just lock someone up because you feel like it. This convention is a big deal. It protects a whole bunch of rights. We're talking about the right to life, liberty and security. We're talking about freedom of thought and religion. We're talking about no torture ever. This thing covers it all. But here's the thing about rules. Someone has to enforce them. That's where the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights comes in. They're like the referees of human rights in the Americas. They make sure countries are playing by the rules. So, next time you hear about human rights abuses in the Americas, remember this. We've got a system. It's not perfect, but it's there to hold countries accountable. And that's something worth fighting for.
Casting a wide net rights covered by the convention. This convention isn't messing around when it comes to human rights. It covers a whole lot of ground. We're not just talking about the basics here, folks. We're talking about the right to a fair trial. We're talking about the right to be free from slavery. We're talking about the right to freedom of expression. And let's not forget about the right to equality. This means everyone should be treated the same, no matter their race, religion, gender, or anything else that makes them unique. The convention recognizes that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. But it goes even further than that. It also covers economic, social, and cultural rights. This means things like the right to education, the right to work, and the right to health care. The convention recognizes that these rights are just as important as civil and political rights. So yeah, this convention is pretty comprehensive. It's a testament to the idea that everyone in the Americas deserves to live a life free from fear and oppression. Stepping up responsibilities of countries under the convention. Okay, so the convention lays out all these rights. But what does that actually mean for the countries that sign on? Well, it means they have some serious responsibilities. First and foremost, they have to respect the rights of everyone within their borders. That means no arbitrary arrests, no torture, no discrimination, no exceptions. But it's not just about refraining from bad behavior. Countries also have a duty to protect these rights. They need to have laws and policies in place to prevent human rights violations. And they need to make sure those laws are actually enforced. And here's the kicker. They also have to fulfill these rights. That means taking active steps to make sure everyone has access to things like education, healthcare, and a fair justice system. So yeah, being a party to this convention is a big deal. It's not just about signing a piece of paper. It's about making a real commitment to human rights. Section 4. The Guardians, the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. Let's talk about the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, or IACHR. These folks are like the referees of the human rights game in the Americas. They ensure everyone plays by the rules set out in the convention. The IACHR is made up of 7 independent experts. These aren't politicians or government stooges. They're passionate about human rights with a proven track record. So, what do these guardians actually do? They monitor human rights situations, read reports, talk to victims, and visit prisons. They also get involved and pressure governments to change laws. They provide training to government officials. They even represent victims in court. The IACHR is vital to the human rights system in the Americas.
Section 5. Taking it to court, the Inter-American Court of Human Rights. Now, sometimes just talking to governments isn't enough. Sometimes you need a bigger stick. That's where the Inter-American Court of Human Rights comes in. This is the big leagues, folks. The court is like the Supreme Court for human rights in the Americas. If a country violates the convention and doesn't fix the situation, the court can step in and make a ruling, and these rulings are legally binding. But here's the thing, not every case makes it to the court. First, the IACHR has to investigate and decide if there's enough evidence to move forward. And even then, the country involved has to have agreed to recognize the court's jurisdiction. Still, the court plays a crucial role in holding countries accountable. It's a powerful tool for justice and a beacon of hope for victims of human rights abuses.
Section 6. A team effort, the IACR and the court working together. The IACR and the court might seem like separate entities, but they're actually two parts of a whole. They work together, like Batman and Robin, to protect human rights in the Americas. The IACHR is like the detective, gathering evidence and building cases. They're the ones on the ground, talking to victims and putting pressure on governments. The court, on the other hand, is like the judge and jury. They hear the evidence and issue rulings that can have real consequences for countries that violate human rights. It's a system that's designed to be comprehensive and effective. And while it's not perfect, it's a vital tool for protecting the rights of people all across the Americas.